Maybe.
Not on the-
All right. Mic test. Mic test. Anybody in here? Mic test. Getting ready to head in. What time is it?
5:55.
Oh, 5 minutes. All right. Yo, John. All right. Sounds like we got audio, we got video, we got video. Good citizen is watching. All right, let's get up in there and set up.
It just stays on there.
Oh, man.
One of the things, and I never heard this, when the certain number of people, it's kind of really excited that. Why do you say so don't move?
Yeah, I looked at his thing.
Yeah, we could just do that for.
Next time.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah, so.
It turned out really well. You do it by yourself?
This is the way that's. So you have one more piece of it. What do you call it?
You're always all right. I mean, have somebody spot me doing something. It is full time.
I got my tablet ready to already. No, I don't want
Oh, wow.
Okay. Okay.
You know. I don't look that much. Happy when they show up there. They go, "My weights go down." No, I don't mind, you know. You never know, it could be great and it could be bad. Yes, sir.
I now call this regular meeting of October 24th, 2024 to order, please.
Sure. I pledge allegiance to
To
the
the
flag
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
I always do that. Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Here.
Ms. Adams.
Here.
Mr. Barajas,
Here.
Ms. Galnett.
Here.
Mr. Romero. Here. Mr. Thorne,
Here.
Madam Mayor.
Here. Approval of agenda. I would like to add resolution number 2024-10-2. And also move executive session 11A to 11M. Can I get a motion?
What is the 20, whatever it was, what did you say?
Resolution number 2024-10-2. Is it in their packets?
Yeah, it was some of them.
It's in your packets.
It was left on the counter. I think later.
Okay, what did you want to do with it?
Add it to the agenda for approval.
This is what you're talking about? That is on the agenda?
No, there's just. There's the resolution, one resolution's already on the agenda.
That one's already on there, but we want to add a second.
Do we have a copy of the second?
I had left it on your spot right there. It should have been the last page of the papers that were put together.
And we're adding that one to where?
The resolution,
Yes, ma'am. The new? Let's see, what's gonna be, no, actually, it would be old.
under new,
You lost me there.
you want to move it to A? Just move it to 11A.
And then the executive that we have already on there, move that to B
That's going to be O.
at the end, okay, sorry.
It's gonna be what?
Oh, on the second page, we'll move it all the way under search renewal.
I'd like to have removed 11E. It's the approval of the bills. I got a chance to glance over this. It wasn't ready till we walked in the door. And there's a couple of things in here that if we would have had this, I would have been prepared to discuss. And this has got to get better. This will last minute and it's continuous and we're gonna do better.
It was ready since yesterday.
Well, this morning, I think.
Okay, well, I came in, wait, I came in yesterday and picked up my packet and I was told that I would get a phone call whenever it's ready. I didn't get the phone call. I walked in and it's sitting right here. So there got to be better communication. And this has to get out earlier. We have to have time to look at this.
Well, we went over the bills. I have what every single bill is for. I can answer any questions that you may have, but we need to get those bills paid.
Well, you do, but you know what, we need to do this right. There's things on here, like I said, that I object to. And if I would have had this a couple of days ago, I would have had the things in here so that I could make an argument on it. This isn't fair to us. You're asking us to approve bills without giving us a chance to look at them. This is almost every time we approve bills. It's always a last minute thing. Yeah, and it's like we're bum rushed into doing this.
So let me ask you a question, sir. What's the point of having the finance committee going over the bill if, I mean, it's like, it's kind of double the work. What's the point of me taking my time out or Linda or even Miss Angela? Why are we gonna take time out to go over these and decide which ones are gonna get paid if they're not gonna get approved to get paid?
That's not my argument. My argument is we didn't get it till we walked in here. And there's items on this that I don't believe are right. And I would have had the information if I got this in proper time. We should have these packets and you're not giving us any time to look at them. Along with the bills to be approved, there's 3 or 4 other things in here like what she had just put on here. Haven't had a chance to read it, don't have any idea what it is. We're blindsided by it. You know, you're doing your job, you're doing the things the right way. But every meeting that we do, we don't get the financials till the very last. And there are things on here I don't agree with.
What is it that you don't agree with?
Well,
Can't we discuss those when we're talking about the bills? Instead of,
He wants to.
But he wants to, not, have that on the agenda. He wants to remove it, Bob.
the one thing that should be removed is the last one there on Tyra Avila's vacation days.
Why?
Why? Because I don't believe the numbers are anywhere close to correct. I think that she's way over on this.
No, you thought she had more hours. I did the research on it. I sent it to Peter and Andy. They both shared it. They looked at the hours and she actually has less hours.
Then where is the paperwork for us to look at so we understand it? Because my numbers are completely different and she's way over on it. And I don't have the information here because I didn't have it to bring it in.
Okay,
And you didn't put it in the packet either.
so if we don't get it paid, we will be fined.
I'm asking.
Every day
I'm
after today, we will be fined.
I'm asking for this to be given a chance for us to understand what's on there. I only seen a
I
couple
sent
of
an
things.
email out to everybody, letting them know, and nobody responded.
You know what?
I sent out an email to everybody that Tyra's vacation had to be paid. No one ever responded.
Isn't there a sunshine law against doing?
No, it's a sunshine law if everybody answered, but nobody answered. So they could have, each one emailed me separately and said,
Emailing you separately is the same thing. We're all responding. But I didn't get that
we're
email
not
from you.
responding to
I
the
didn't get
same.
that email from you because you've excluded me from all that. And you've told other council people
Oh,
to
I'm
exclude
sorry.
me.
Would you like me to read the text to the public where you asked me not to contact you again?
Oh, you can, but what I was, because it was a direct sunshine law violation that you
It
did
wasn't.
on asking us to make a vote on the school. And you called all the councilmen and you asked them to vote. That's a direct violation.
Mr. Thorne, didn't you ask me not to
I
ever
did.
contact you
I
again?
did.
Did you tell me you were done? I don't have time for this. You had it on Facebook. You were done. You
What did I put on
accused us.
Facebook?
You accused
What
us
did I
of
put on
running you
Facebook? If
off
you're gonna
of the
accuse me
board.
of something, you better have something there somewhere that I
call
did
to
something.
order. This is enough.
No,
We're not getting anything done if we're gonna sit here and argue with each other.
I'm trying to prove to him
Let's get
because
back to what we were supposed to be doing.
Amen.
Let's do this, Dan. This is getting too crazy.
So the thing of it is that, are we going to remove the bill or are we going to approve the bills? That's the issue here right now.
I think we ought to go through and approve the doggone bills and question each one that we have a question about.
Thank you.
and discuss it at that time. We need to do the bills. We can't get around it.
And that's the position that I'm talking about. Every time this comes up, we're done this way. It's gotta come to an end.
I'm sure they're trying to work on that, Vern.
Motion to approve with the additions to the agenda.
A motion to approve the agenda with the addition of adding 24-10-2, moving to new A in executive session, moving to O.
I second it.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
Ms. Adams,
Yes.
Mr. Barajas,
Yes.
Ms. Galvin,
Yes.
Mr. Romero,
Yes.
Mr. Thorne.
Abstain from it.
Approval of the regular meetings minutes for September 26th.
Okay, point of order on that, aren't you going to take a vote on removing E?
No, they voted on it. You abstained.
They voted on what you had said. Nothing was said about me asking that to be removed. There was no vote on that.
I did, I said in keeping the bills in there, and everybody voted and said yes.
Okay, I had trouble hearing it.
Sorry.
Approval of the regular meeting minutes for September 26th, 2024.
Okay, on the sign-in guest, Joshua Lloyd. This is worded that he spouted profanities and refused to leave when asked. I went back over and I listened to that video several times. He was not asked to leave. The mayor asked the police to escort him out. And it was actually the board that interrupted him. So I'd like that to be worded different.
I never asked to have him removed. I told him that I would have him, but I didn't ask him.
He then spouted profanities to the board and refused to leave when asked.
We didn't ask him to leave.
It's wrote right there.
It's written down.
I see it. I mean, it can be corrected, but we
Okay.
didn't ask him to leave.
That's all I'm doing, is asking you to correct it. CDOT building. Mrs. Adams made a motion to table and find out the lease amount, seconded by Mr. Thorne. Mr. Baraha voted no, motion passed. That wasn't what the motion was on that. Our motion was to get in touch with the realtor to give us some advice on the price of selling that other property to put towards that one. And I re-listened to the video on that one also. This is completely different than what the board actually voted on.
But it was tabled.
And what are you saying is different?
I'm saying that our vote was to get a realtor involved with the property over there, the acre of land that we have that stuff on, that we can't take care of. And trying to sell it to get this other property over here that we've already invested 10,000 in.
So what you're saying, you want this corrected to read, Ms. Adams made a motion to table and find out the lease amount on the CDOT building and
The motion was to contact the realtor.
Angela?
And I believe we said that we would contact Carrie, to support her, locals, give her the business if she wanted it.
I can add that on there. It was read, there was statement made about police and out also, so that's why that was.
That's
put in
true
there.
too. That's true too. But we did mention,
So
reaching
it
out
was
to.
tabled, that situation was tabled, because I feel like we need to revisit that whole situation.
We do,
I agree.
but isn't it on, it's on here under old
Okay. It's,
10A.
it's under there with new guidelines. Anyway. It's gotta do it.
You need a different recorder.
Motion to accept the minutes from September 26th as amended.
I second it.
Roll call?
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
Ms. Adams,
Yes.
Mr. Barajas,
Yes.
Ms. Downer,
Yes.
Mr. Romero,
Yes.
Mr. Thorne,
Yes.
Approval of the special meeting minutes for October 10th, 2024.
Okay, on community center water heater stove rule. Ms. Adams made a motion to file a claim with CERCA regarding the roof repair setting by Mr. Romero. Mr. Romero made a motion to contact San Isabel about having the stove water heater replaced, seconded by Ms. Adams. Motion passed. Has that been done?
Cersei came through the roof and they sent an insurance adjuster down. He was here today.
Has anybody checked on the wiring? What it's
That
gonna
was gonna
cost
be
the
another
water?
question.
On the water heater, that electric water heater
Water heater.
with San Isabel, they will give you the water heater, but you will have to,
Do the electrical work.
no, they will do the electrical work, and that's where they make up the difference for that free water heater.
And here's where everyone thinks I'm being a pain, but I'm trying to make a point here. What the council votes on doesn't get put in here properly, or doesn't get done at all. And that's the point to it.
So on the water heater, I don't know if you still want to go to electric or just pay for it ourselves.
I think whatever's most cost effective at this point.
Yeah, I don't think we could afford to switch over to electricity because it's gonna be more. That was the terms of the free stove. I mean, the free water heater.
Yeah.
I didn't know, I didn't even ask about the stove.
Electric. And hook it up.
And I'm understanding
And
what
they
you're
would do it.
saying,
The one that's there now is, yes.
and I'm understanding what you're saying, but if you have the numbers of estimates, how come they're not in the packet?
You can put it out.
You guys, hold on. Yes.
I don't have them on me, Vernon. I will get them.
Okay, well, here's the other point. These are just things that we're being told. We're not getting the proper paperwork either on any of these things. It's a big issue. It's been going on for a long time again. And it's been months that we've been saying, get in touch with the insurance companies. I know that the stove is something different on that, but this can't all be played off. We have Thanksgiving coming up, and I know the Legions want to use the place. I know that the Friends of Aguilar use it. And these are very important things, roof repairs. From what I'm hearing, that there's none of the estimates you got are in the packet, and it's been months before, and nothing's been done on this. We're here to do a job, and we're not doing it.
I don't think we have any kind of bids on fixing the roof, right?
Oh, the adjuster was here today.
Yeah, but I'm talking about before these things were.
No,
So we don't even know what the bids are, or nothing.
Well, the water heater.
but she was gonna give you the report of what, the adjuster told her when she got to, you didn't want this report?
You can get it picked up.
Okay.
I have my notes.
So she was gonna let you know that that's where we were at. He was there today, here today, and he checked on the ponds. She took him out there for that tractor. We need to find paperwork on it. I had Stephanie looking, she has not found anything. Derek gave me the information as to the make and model and the year, but there is no paperwork. And until we get the paperwork, we can't do anything with that. And then if we provide them with the paperwork, then they will send someone to come and fish it out of the pond.
They've already tried doing that, and they couldn't find it.
I heard that, but that's what Sarah told Sarah today.
Maybe they can come and dive in it or something.
Isn't there some like sort of sonar, imaging that somebody could use to see what's down there? I mean, a lot of boats have that kind of ping, down into the water. I don't know.
I don't know, that's just what he told her just today.
I think the point Vern was trying to make was that, if San Isabel provided a quote to change it out to electric, then that should have probably been in the packet for us to review.
Right.
I will have that tomorrow. Anything else on that meeting that needs correction?
Make a motion to accept it as amended.
The town. The water heater?
Yeah, it's in there.
Oh, you were telling her on that one. Lisa.
I'm sorry, what did I need to amend on that, Mr. Thorne?
10 years ago.
The
I need to get numbers for them.
Well, it just says, what do I have to change is what I'm trying to ask. It states to, the contact San Isabel.
I don't think you had to change wording to it. We discussed that nothing was done to it and we come up with ways to fix it,
So she'll tell you now what under the community center, what Sarah told her today.
So you motion to accept the minutes? Who seconded?
I'm second.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
Ms. Adams,
Yes.
Mr. Barajas.
Yes.
Ms. Galvin,
Yes.
Mr. Romero,
Yes.
Mr. Thorne,
Yes.
You can tell me. Motion to approve the special minutes meeting for October 16th.
I'll make a motion to accept them as they are.
I second it.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
Ms. Adams,
Yes.
Mr. Barajas.
Yes.
Ms. Galvin,
I have to say that in here.
Mr. Romero,
Yes.
Mr. Thorne,
Yes.
Guest recognition, Robert Avila.
Good evening. My first question was, are the paperwork for the bills that you guys are going to discuss and pass tonight accessible to the public? Public information?
You have to make a certain request under Cora.
Like a court request?
Yes.
Okay. Second thing I wanted to ask is, I know you hired the attorney about a month ago. Is there any update? Are you guys gonna, replace my meter?
Robert, that's where we're going to, he's gonna give us legal advice in our executive session.
Right. He's been working for a month and, normally you have to give the other person 15 days notice. So I didn't get a notice, so that wasn't on this agenda. You're gonna wait until next month?
This is legal advice that we're getting from him.
Right, but he didn't tell you to install the meter or not install the meter?
I haven't spoken to him about your meter.
Not for the whole month?
No.
Uh,
Vernon and I had a conversation with him. What date, Vernon?
It was after our last meeting. I forgot the date. Covered. He hasn't got all the information yet, and tonight he's going to have all of it at the executive session, I guess. But I really don't see it in there.
So the weather has changed. It's getting a lot colder. The winter's starting. I can't apply for LEAP because I don't have a meter.
Are we able to amend this again for the executive session to include his information? But you're saying we're gonna get legal advice on it tonight, so.
Mr. Thorne, that the executive session is properly noticed on the agenda for me to be able to discuss this type of legal matter with the board during that executive session. So
Sorry, I don't see it.
it's noticed there, 11A, conference with an attorney for a public entity for the purposes of receiving legal advice on specific legal questions.
Got it.
It was moved from 11A to 11O at the beginning.
Got it.
So I'll be happy to discuss that with you during the executive session.
But I won't be allowed to be in the executive session.
No.
It's for getting
Wouldn't
legal
that-
advice, Robert.
Wouldn't that be, normal? Because he might not have all the information just from the paperwork.
I don't know, Robert. We have to wait till we go into executive session to see.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This one.
Donna Rodriguez.
I'd like to wait until we get down here to new business workshops to address the board.
Okay, we're not gonna be able to wait on
Why?
because we've already approved the agenda.
I'm on the agenda, public speaking, but I would like to address it during workshops because that's what my words pertain to,
The ones we talked about.
the ones that I've got written in this book here.
It should be during the public speaking period.
Your, when it's public comment.
Well, okay, that we had a couple of weeks ago. I just want to follow up with a few things that I found out. Number one, I am serious about getting our school kids involved in community. No, we wouldn't be breaking any child labor laws. Aguilar has had community service for the students for quite a few years. Every student who wishes to graduate must complete the following: 10 hours community service their freshman year, 10 their sophomore, 10 junior, 10 their senior year, for a total of 40 hours over the course of 4 years. Not only does Aguilar School here have this requirement, but it seems to be commonplace here in Colorado. I just want to clear this up, as there have been many questions and comments on social media about child labor laws, and there's no such thing as community service. I talked with the school, and this is black and white. Every student has to have community service. I have an appointment next week to speak with Elizabeth Jameson, the school principal, to discuss getting the school and the town together. One of the biggest things I would like to see get done will be pairing the kids with our senior citizens. For example, if and when I need help with yard work, wood, etc., I can call the school with the request. They will have a list of the kids that are apt to do that. They will pair me with the student. I get the help I need, the student gets credited hours, and then I can also pay them. So it's a win-win for everybody. During the summer, maybe a list of students can be placed at town hall. Again, this is all theoretical, but details can be ironed out. The school does not have a newspaper, but they do have a media class. Hopefully, we can get a town calendar so that all of our residents have the knowledge about meeting dates, times, club information, important dates, etc. This can be sent out to every resident with their bill, their utility bill. I am more than happy to start this ball rolling in the hope that we can become a more knowledgeable community. Thank you.
Donna,
Yes.
when you said that you would pay them,
Mhm.
are they allowed to accept pay because it's community service? Or would
I
it
don't
just be a
know.
tip?
I don't know. That's what I'm going to be talking with Mrs. Jameson about. This was just from a meeting that I had on the fly, just, talking about things that we would like as a community. So I figured I'd come before you and tell you what's going on, so you don't think that I wasn't serious about the stuff that I talked about during the workshop.
Okay.
So,
You move that mic forward a little bit so the bump up, twist it like.
And then you'll
There you
come
go.
back to.
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
yes, I will.
Wait a minute, I wanted to ask something.
Oh, go
Sure.
ahead.
Would it be all right if a town trustee went with you?
That'd be great. That would be great.
Depending on where.
I just feel that this town is so full of negativity and hate and mistrust and misinformation that anything and everything that we can do to get it better, let's do it. Okay, thank you.
Donna.
Thank you.
Mr. Kemp?
The white fire engine in the storage yard on San Antonio, who owns it, the town or the fire department?
Where's this at?
On San Antonio, so that would be the town. Is it the one?
Over there. It's in our lot.
It's the town.
It's the town's.
Well, it has not been used. And it's a good idea to sell it and the proceeds go to the town. In the 10 years I've lived here, I never seen it used or moved.
I think that was a month ago, maybe, that we discussed checking the vehicles.
Were you Rich said that he was gonna maybe try to start looking up some vehicle worth, were you able to accomplish that, or?
I've been way too busy doing other stuff, but yes, I will get on that.
I believe that was something that the maintenance committee was going to address, is what what's out here and what's usable and what we might be able to get rid of.
Okay, that answered my question.
Thank you. Utility report. I changed the language.
Oh, yeah, you did.
You only did the first page.
I gave my utility report to the ladies, so I do not have it with me. But yes, it was turned in.
Okay.
Just I wanted to follow up, were you able to start checking the, fire hydrants?
Yes, I did start that.
How many do we have in town?
Oh, gosh. I think there's like 48.
Okay. And how many were you able to check?
I think I did 8 or 10,
Okay. How long does each one take you?
about 30 minutes.
15 or 20 of them have already been done, right?
Yeah, 15 or 20 of them were already
So
done
that was
by,
Joe from what Joe did before, so 15 to 20 are completed. So we got another 20 to 25 to do then.
correct. And as soon as I'm done with the meter reads, I will get back on that.
On some of these, I'm not gonna jump on you for anything. On these, before whenever the maintenance guys would give a report, I've asked them that if you carry a clipboard with you, because we don't really understand some of this, it says chores. But if you had a clipboard and just mark down what you did and how long it took and kind of made.
Itemize it more?
Yeah,
Okay.
something that, because a lot of this, there's no times on it. I was going to ask you about, on like and I hear that you're putting in a lot of hours
Yes, sir.
on 10, 12, 13, 14, and 15. All it says is chores. Define chores.
That's the meter reads, the ponds, the trash.
Okay, so would it be possible for you, or if you just put like meter reads?
Yes.
An hour?
Yes, I can do that.
Isn't that like micromanaging when you start doing that?
I'm trying to get this to where we understand it, and he's turning in the report, but it's not telling us anything. You know, it like these days with the chores. I don't know if he worked 8 hours that day to do all those. I don't know what he did or how he done it. Some of this, and I think you're doing a good job.
I will itemize it a little bit better for everybody, so
Yeah.
everybody understands.
There is some reports that, the girls can make copies that you
I-
can have on a clipboard. I don't know.
I already have it in the computer.
Okay.
I was just trying to get it done so I can get that to the ladies, and I will make sure that I can write down hours and let everybody know exactly how long it takes
Yeah,
to
and
get
I'm
this stuff done.
I'm not asking you to be like to the second on anything, but just rough idea of
Sure.
what you're doing here.
Sure, no worries.
I've asked that of other people also.
Yeah, no worries. I'll handle
I'd
it.
like to go ahead and make a motion to you because we only hired him part-time on the basis that, we were gonna hire another part-time person, so nobody was working every weekend. We have not hired another person. And we have council members and the office girls willing to go check the meters or wells or whatever it is they do on the weekend, so he doesn't have to work every weekend. So I'd like to officially make the motion that he is a full-time employee and not a part-time employee.
How many hours did you get this pay period?
Last pay period, I believe it was like 78 hours
For 2 weeks.
for 2 weeks.
Full-time.
But there was there's a lot to do. I mean, there's a lot on my plate.
I understand. I tried keeping up with it.
official. You know, if we're not gonna hire another part-time person, let's give them the full-time job with a little support from other council members and the girls in, I'm sorry, the women in the office. You know, if they can relieve him on a couple of weekends, you know, so he's not working every single weekend.
Now, they have been supporting me and helping
Yeah.
on the
Yeah,
weekends.
so I mean, might as well just, let's make it official.
Well, I know how to do them. I'll volunteer sometime. So you
So
have time off.
I make the motion to officially hire, Rich full-time as a maintenance.
Second.
One of the issues that we, it's great to be doing all this stuff, but
Oh.
do we have money?
Well, we were gonna hire 2 part-time people, so what's the difference with 2 part-time people or 1 full-time person?
Because 2 part-time people will give each other time off without the council doing it.
But number 1, do we have any other applicants? Number 2, he's willing to do it, and there's stuff that needs to be done, so.
But here's some of the problems that we'll run into, because that's what I asked you about. On the 22nd, I believe it was, he had someone, Marty, working with him.
Excuse me?
And Marty is, I believe, the ORC. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay, now the way that I'm seeing this is, he's on a fixed salary for so much a week, and he's got specific job duties, yet he's doing work that's not his job duties. So are we paying him by the hour for things that, well, if the
I mean, we're not-
attorney's
yeah.
here, but we're working an employee that be on his job thing for nothing. I mean, that's why the need for the second employee, because you need him for a spotter, right? Is that,
that's what Marty did the last couple of,
I'm on your side.
yeah, I understand, but yes, Marty was here to assist me.
Right. So that's why there would be 2 employees at a part-time position, because we're using a different person on this.
So we had a full-time and a part-time person before. So, I mean, him being full-time and him part-time, isn't it kind of the same?
Well,
I think one of the things we need.
I'm on a salary thing where if the town works me 40 hours,
you can't,
I can't complain about it.
yeah, but
If
you
I
can't, you
work
can't
here
just
3
speak up.
hours,
I know.
Wait, Marty, hold on.
That's one of the things that we need to do, is we need to find out exactly what we expect from this guy.
Okay,
And that's already come up, because I asked for a contract of him, and I asked for it in the employee manual, and I was told that, it was in there. But if you look at the first page of it, it says that this, let me get it. It says, these policies are not an employment contract or agreement of any kind expressed or implied. So I went back on the video to see what he agreed to do, but there's no paperwork on it. And what I'm trying to say now is kind of help him getting someone to work with him, because he's doing work that's not in that. And can we work someone without pay that's an employee?
he agreed to a specific amount and
For
he would
specific job?
work as needed.
No, that's not what it was. You need to go back and look at it. That's why we needed a
I
contract.
got it specifically, anything to do with someone needing a water license, any road.
But
That
digging the
was the
hole,
water license
digging the hole
included,
wasn't
and
passed, so
then
he's
he
working
would-
out.
Help out.
He's working outside of, the man's working outside of what we've agreed
The
to
scope,
pay.
so
So
we
should
need,
he
we
be
need to
paid?
get a piece of paper with the actual job description that he's doing for the scope that we're paying for, is what you're saying.
And that's what I asked for 2 different meetings, and it was turned down each time saying that it was here, but it's clearly not here. So I've seen what his job duties are. And if he's doing work beyond his job duties, are we responsible to pay him? At least for you.
Respectfully, I have not been read in on this situation. I haven't read the employee manual. I wasn't read in on the meetings of what this gentleman was agreeing to do. So I'm happy to review that and report back to the board with a memorandum to you about that, but I'm not prepared at this point to answer that question tonight.
Okay, hang on, we got a document here from Bob.
We were told that that would be the guideline for his employment, but now if you listen to the video, Stephanie's the one who interviewed him basically and asked him a series of questions which he agreed to do. So and none of that was on there. That's how come I kept going on about the contract and in the employee, and I was told it's going to be in this. This clearly says it's not. He's a salaried employee, and I wanted something so we didn't get into any more contract disputes with someone because we don't understand what his job is. It's clear on the video what his job is, but I don't know if he's agreed to what's on the video. There's nothing in writing saying that he did. So we
Yeah, I mean, and
basically
that
hired
document
someone
right there
without.
only has his signature, it doesn't have anybody on the town.
Well, it doesn't have everything that's on the video either. You know, he's agreed to do work, and there should be something drawn up, so we have a contract or a job description.
Well, Rich even agreed to that, you know, even if he could get 30 hours a week, you know, and then maybe he can pick up some of that slack.
And we'd have to renegotiate his contract so he gets paid for it if he's doing things. that-
Well, he says that, you know, he's willing to do anything extra needed, so, you know, but keep it
As long
within
as it's no RC,
limits.
but you're putting him in maintenance, and he deserves to get paid if he's going to be doing work that he didn't agree to.
I see what you're saying.
But statement that he put on there, he leaves everything wide open.
Yeah, it's
But
pretty.
that's not a
open.
contract. That's not a contract.
It's something that he submits to the town board, that's all he went on.
But it's not a contract, no matter how you look at
So
it.
It's
then,
not a contract.
do we have to move him to a part-time employee?
That's what we agreed on, which according to this document we received, we agreed to.
I need to know. So what you're saying is keep the agreement we have with him as ORC operator, and then he would work part-time for pay.
For what he agreed to in the document.
But we do need to get something official that's signed by the town
Yeah.
too.
Because that document there, I don't see that as a contract.
He was,
That's a job employment note.
it is, that's what he got on as. He was not gonna be a contracted person. He was getting on as a part-time employee, which we could use his water license, and he would come do the water testing and anything else as needed.
Okay, so we have all of his W-4
Yes,
and everything on
yes,
file, so he's
yes.
actually an
And he's
employee.
done his
Yes.
drug test and all that,
Yes.
he's been hired on as
Yes.
an employee. Okay, but you're saying that that is possibly a contract, but listen to this. If you listen to the video of Stephanie going through his job duties, there's other things added onto it that he agreed to do for a set amount of money per month. Now, if you have him out there spotting for him or using the backhoe, then he deserves to be paid for the extra work he's doing. And that, I think that the meaning of that was for anything to do with the ORC, not general maintenance.
Well, when Stephanie interviewed or asked him questions, she asked him questions and then later he brought this paper to us because we asked for something in writing and that's when he provided the paper.
That was that.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is really, this is determined in the way that you read it because in case of emergency for inspections and other things that could happen. But I take this along the line of his ORC license, which we contracted for. We don't have a clear contract on that, and this isn't a clear contract because of what he agreed to do whenever he was hired There was a list of things that Stephanie had said he agreed to. So you got two parts of a contract, and the work he's doing now, I believe he should be paid for. It's beyond what his is on this at all. There's a video, then there's this paper.
Sure, Mr. Thorne, if I might, we're using two different terminologies here, okay? If he's an independent contractor, you're correct. But if he's an employee and he's doing generalized work for the town, I don't see any issue with that legally. So
With him
maybe,
working for no extra money.
well, that's something that we would negotiate with him, or he would bill per hour for his work or otherwise.
And
If he's
my
agreed to
argument.
do that kind of work, that's fine. If
That's
he's an
exactly what I'm on.
employee, I'm not concerned with him doing extra work. If he's an independent contractor, that's a different story. I think maybe that does need to be cleared up and a little more clear than what you're holding there. I would agree with you on that. We can work on something like that, but those are two different, kind of talking about two different things there.
And you're making the same argument I am. If he's doing something above and beyond this, what this paper and the video says, then the man deserves to get paid. And we need a clear-cut document saying what the man's responsibility is and ours.
And if the board wants to direct me to get something like that drawn up or put together, I'd be happy to do that. So, but that's something I'll take the direction of the board.
Okay, but that brings us back to Rich. What are we doing with his hours then? Because, I mean, obviously, he's going beyond the part-time hours.
Will we be able to put him on? I don't think anyone defined what part-time was in hours, so would we be able to put him on full-time, considering bringing him on part-time? Are we-
He already is part-time, and Angela already made a motion to hire Rich full-time, and Gerald seconded, so we're just waiting.
Okay, so this
So
is,
he's actually
so this
considered
is-
a part-time employee for now, and if you want to revisit his, like he said, he would write up a different.
Yeah, I mean, we can write up a job description.
Yeah.
But with that,
but this is the discussion part of the motion and the second, right? And we're considering putting him on full-time. So my question to that would be, we've already discussed this, we're talking about putting another man on part-time.
he's already on part-time.
We're talking about increasing his pay, using him for more hours on things that he didn't agree to do. He didn't agree to sit out there and spot for free. That has nothing to do with his ORC license.
So I think that portion of it needs to be tabled, and we need to just decide on Rich for the moment, and then get a job description written up for the part-time gentleman. Is that agreeable to everybody?
Yes.
Yes.
Monica? Yeah. Bernie?
So you're saying put him on full-time and then later negotiate the part-time?
He's full-time, and we'll stay with what we have here, and then revisit the part-time. That's
With a job description.
With a job description.
with permission of the board. Adam will do a job description to add to the employee handbook.
I'd agree to that.
You know,
Well, not to the employee handbook. though.
No, I don't, where you want his job description to
It
go
would be in
on
his personnel file.
or his personnel file.
I'd agree to that.
And so what you saying, Scott?
when we don't say the employee handbook, all it states is that all of the job descriptions are at the tail end. There's no name.
I think it should definitely be in, yeah, adding them in there and then definitely have, a signed copy in each personnel file.
That's what he's agreeing to do.
Yeah.
Approved by the council.
Right.
I agree to that.
So do I need to amend my
Oh.
motion or? Okay, so I amend my motion to hire Rich officially full-time and then to have, the attorney, work with other council members to, that covers the scope beyond his water license for a part-time position.
I'll second that.
Roll call?
Oh,
Sorry, I didn't word that right.
no, what should, we have an issue with one of the vehicles. I don't know if I should bring it up now.
Yeah.
It's under
Okay,
your report, yes.
I believe it was in my
Yeah,
report.
well, we gotta finish roll call. Let's
Oh, I'm
finish
sorry,
this
sorry,
and then bring it
sorry.
up.
Okay, so to make him full-time and then the attorney work on a
To
job
further
description for
define the part-time position.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
Ms. Adams.
Yes.
Mr. Rojas. Ms. Galna.
Yes.
Mr. Romero.
Yes.
Mr. Thorne.
Yes.
Okay, so what's wrong with?
Okay, so the white Chevy Tahoe, upon inspection, because I was gonna actually take it down for a little bit of training, and I discovered that the water pump is out in it. I do have 3 different quotes. I believe I gave it did I give it to you?
I didn't see any
No?
quotes in
Okay,
there.
so what I'm gonna do is I'll get that out of the computer or out of my book, and I will send it so the board can do what they need to do with it. I'm willing to do the work on it to save us some money, as long as we get the water pump.
And one of the things that I believe is the way that the council's been doing it, if you have, serious maintenance issues or something, it would go to the council will approve and
That's,
ask you to get the estimates for the thing.
I've already got the estimates.
Yeah,
I know.
he was-
Okay. Yeah.
He said he could do the work though. so-
Yeah.
I'm just saying, for future things,
Yes,
the way that we usually do it is say that, the truck breaks down.
Yep.
You come to us, you say it's broke down, we ask you to get the estimates.
okay, that's fine. I just did it right away because my brain just keeps going about it.
I'm just trying to do this.
Yeah, that's fine.
Rich, how about this, 1017? The timer on number 3 is out. We need to be replaced. What do we have to do?
Okay, there's a timer on the well. Okay, I have another one in the shop. I just haven't been able to get out there to do it. There is one in the shop. I believe it's working properly, but the well 3 is not working. It's been the same amount of pumps. I mean, the same, numbers for over a week now. So I've been running well 1 and well 2 more often because well 3 is not producing anything. And that's due to the timer.
Can you bypass the timer and let it run overnight and shut it off in the morning?
That's kind of putting a big risk on it. I really wouldn't do that.
We've done that whenever like the reservoir's low.
I mean, yeah, I could, but I think in the next couple of days I can get out there and get it done. Because it doesn't take very long at all.
Yeah.
You did a very good job on that water leak.
You do.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Wait a minute, can I bring something up? Normally when we hire people, we put them on a 90-day.
Probationary period.
Probationary period. Makes us go on probation.
Yeah, I mean, it would still be considered a probationary period, which is, just one from, and what I'm hearing from everybody, he's doing fine, so, yeah, at that 3-month mark, then it comes off of probation.
And I believe that's it. I don't think I have anything else. That's sticking in my brain anyway.
Okay, sir, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh. That one? Enclosed in your packet, you should find the project manager report on the augmentation pond. And then he has a notation on number, underwater storage tanks also. And Bob, that one that said the last paragraph that he wrote, that's the one I asked you about attending the meeting. He will give me the date. We thought Tuesday, but the gentleman wants to bring a couple of people from CDOT. So he'll let me know. And then I will let you know.
I haven't got anything in the packet for the project manager.
It would have been paper clips with the ones that were left on, because I got it this afternoon, so. It should be the first page.
Are there any questions? Nope, not for me. Mr. Romero?
No.
Mr. Thorne?
No questions.
Mr. Barajas? Mr. Bodino? Attorney? Okay, under old business, CDOT building.
I see her asking here for a water tap, but haven't we stopped doing water taps
Where?
for the moment? They already have it. CDOT wants to know if putting, oh, a sewer tap, sorry, sewer tap. Never mind. That's wrong. And doesn't this all kind of tie back into selling that other?
Yeah, that's the option that's left off of it.
selling that other, maintenance area that we have to store stuff and buying this building from them?
Where we already own that other lot over there, and it's not like the town is in a position to be buying.
All we're buying is an old building. I think it was there 70 years, 100 years, they're old, old building.
But we've already.
What are we buying? Just a lot. And we have that acre over there. If we do anything, let's improve on that lot over there. Put something with lifts or something. Do it right for the future.
Right.
Not this, all is an old building, and we don't have the money to buy it anyway.
Didn't
We
you say
could
that
use the
there's
money.
lifts in that building?
There's no lift, but we've already paid $10,000 into it because past meetings, the council approved this, that we were going to get the property. We've already paid 10,000 on it. We owe 25. That's why the other property came up. That property we're not maintaining. It looks like crap most of the time, and those buildings that are there need to be torn down. They need to be condemned. So you're looking at to put buildings over on that one, it's gonna cost you a lot more than this one. Yes, it's an older building and it's a smaller lot, but that acre is gonna sell for more than 25,000.
I think we already own it though, so it's only because of the situation we're in.
I know we already own it, that's why we're talking sell it.
Can we get the money back from this one here?
You're not gonna pay anything.
You're not.
We haven't paid CDOT.
You're not paying
If
anything
you
by
decide
selling that over there that you'll buy this. There is no advantage to that.
We've already paid 10,000 on
When
it.
did we pay $10,000?
Read the thing.
Can we get that
We
10,000
gave
back?
credit to them for $10,000 for different water and bills that we gave them credit for it to that building.
Go ahead, Steph. Wait, go ahead. Are you done?
Yes.
Go ahead.
We haven't paid anything for CDOT. Basically, they've not paid their water tap or any of their bills for water since they've had the place since 2015. So if we were to go through with this deal, then they would credit us $10,250 for what they owe the town. If the town decides not to go through with the CDOT building, then CDOT will pay the town $10,250 for their tap fee and all the water they've used
I think
since
that's what needs to
2015.
happen.
Yep.
Yes. They need to pay us for what they owe us, and they can have their building.
Their building.
That's what I think.
And I just need the board to vote either way so I can let her know and then let her know that,
Understood.
we need to get the bill paid.
I make a motion that we don't buy this CDOT building.
Can I get a second?
I do.
I'd like to ask you to put in there that as long as we get this 10,000 back.
As long as we get the money that they owe us for the taps, the water they haven't paid, all this. But as far as we're not buying their property.
I think they know they owe us the money, and based on, they think.
They were trying to bend over backwards to let the town get it. So I talked to her last week and told her I wasn't sure which way we were going, but I would let the board know the numbers. So I don't think it'll be a problem, I'm sure, once we tell them we're not interested and we need to get our money. I don't have a time frame right now, but I can get that when we can get the 10,250 paid.
You have a motion and a second on the floor?
Can we get roll call, please?
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
Ms. Adams,
Yes.
Mr. Barajas,
Yes.
Ms. Galvin,
Yes.
Mr. Romero,
Yes.
Mr. Thorne.
Yes.
Thank you all.
Code enforcement.
You guys able to pull up those ordinances? But that's kind of the whole point of this, is that we need to start sending out letters. I wanted to see those ordinances to see what the protocol is, like what's the warning time? What's, how the fines are starting, to be sent or, levied against them. If they don't comply, then, what happens from there? Do they end up going in front of the judge that we have on call, on standby here? Basically, we need to start sending out letters immediately. We have dogs again. The dogs on the west end of town have now almost bitten another woman, went after a child. We've got fire hazards, we've got dilapidated vehicles, we have overgrown weeds, we have dilapidated buildings, homes. It's just a mess. So we need to start getting, these letters out.
Don't we have to have a code enforcement before we can do letters?
So what would be the, who would enforce it, like she said?
I think at least if we start getting letters out, I mean, we can, maybe hire just somebody a couple hours a week, I don't know. I don't know exactly what the protocol is. That's why I'm bringing this up. But we can't keep dancing around this. These letters need to go out.
Who can find the letters? That's my.
We could go into,
Well, I would say add it to
we could add
Executive session. Okay,
executive
because that's what I
session
did
at the end.
request.
So that, he would give us the legal advice as to,
Okay.
It would just be legal advice about how to generally enforce the code and start enforcing the code, not about any specific cases or anything like that.
Okay, yeah, I did request that for the executive session, so that's fine. I'm okay with that. So table till executive session?
or get a motion to add it to the one executive session we have at the end. Move it to there also for legal advice, so we can do the two together.
Well, I thought that was already included in there, because I actually asked for code enforcement.
Okay, we'll be okay.
Okay. So table it to executive session. Do I need to make an official motion?
Yes.
I motion to table, code enforcement to executive session.
I second.
Roll call?
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
Ms. Adams?
Yes.
Mr. Broadus?
Yes.
Ms. Galvin?
Yeah.
Mr. Romero?
Yes.
Mr. Thorne?
Yes.
Motion passed. Committees?
On the committees, we need to get some definition of what's going to happen on these, because with the sunshine law, we've appointed 2 councilmen to each committee, the financial, the maintenance, and the special projects. Yet whenever the mayor steps in to run them, that puts 3 of us doing this. So we need to define what the committees are going to do, what their responsibilities are.
Well, with the financial, it's just the trustee and the mayor. So there's no 3-party there. They're just 2 people.
Yeah, we've gone over this. It's either 2 trustees or a trustee and a mayor.
And I've only stepped in because either Monica can't be here or Angela can't be here, so I volunteered to do it.
Me and Frank was on the maintenance committee until you stepped into it and started directing all of that. And that's how come I walked away from that, because that put 3 of us in it.
I wasn't on the maintenance committee.
Oh, you were directing it?
How was I directing it?
Well, I have the text where I'm talking to the people about the crump well and trying to keep the wells going. and you got to where that you were directing what was going on. And being a weak mayor, the way I understand it, is you get the direction from the 6 councilmen. And you're taking a lot on yourself that I place above what you should be doing.
Such as?
Well, the committee should do what they're doing and then make the reports here, same as the maintenance guy does. You know, whenever you go in and question anyone on the committee, or you try to do something on the committee and there's 2 people there, that puts us in violation because there's 3 people on it.
She has never questioned me or nothing, about nothing,
She has me.
about the maintenance.
She has me.
You walked away, that was it. So I'm the only one.
I walked away
Well-
because she kept interfering.
No,
She hasn't done.
You walked away, Vernon, because I asked you not to speak to the media. That's why you
No,
walked
I told
away.
you about that if you want to go into it. I told you. you
Okay,
can't
I'm not
let me
gonna argue
talk
with
to-
you, Vernon.
Because that woman's
You know
a
what?
friend of mine, and you're telling me not to talk to a friend of mine.
What friend?
Ruth, she's a friend of.
No, I have the email where the attorney I sent, when I got home from here and there was a Cora request, I contacted the attorney and he advised me to have the board not speak to anyone just yet till I had time to speak to Sheriff Navarrete. That's all I was asking because it was all new to me and I messaged each one of them and probably just spoke to Angela and everybody was okay with it except for you.
Because I haven't said anything to any media or anyone while you let other people give reports to them.
Who have I allowed to give reports to the media?
Gerald McDaniels and Ken Torres. gave a full page.
No, let me stop you there,
That was on
Mr.
executive
Thorne.
session.
I never allowed that. And I never even knew that they did. You're the one that was saying that Gerald and Ken gave
Everyone
the
here
information,
knows
not me,
that-
sir. We need to back off. Because I did not do that.
It was in the newspaper. I mean, I don't know.
It might have been.
And it was our executive sessions that was in the newspaper.
Was I in the executive session? No.
I don't remember if you were or not.
I wasn't.
but- Okay, it was still executive session that 2 members, Ken Torres, a contractor, and water attorney went and done an interview with Ruth. And I don't know which attorney that told you what you did, but the way that you approached me with it was do not talk to her. And she's a friend of mine and you can't tell me who to talk to.
That's
As
not what
long
you,
as I'm
that's
not
not how you said
As
it.
long as I'm not breaking any regulation or giving any information that's confidential to anyone, I've got the right to talk to who I want. You can't dictate that to me.
Well, the thing is all I did was ask for time to speak to Navarrete. So are we done with committees or what would you like to?
Well, if we're going to have the committees, we have to define what they're going to do and who's going to do it. If you're going to be running it with 2 councilmen, it can't be done.
I thought we already established all of that way back on committee.
I wasn't
I
even
thought so
on
too.
the
No, you weren't.
board at the time.
No, you were not.
Okay, the board picks committees. Frank and I have maintenance, Bob and I, special committees, and you 2 finance.
Financial.
Okay, and we're not directed by the mayor.
I never have been directed by the mayor.
Okay, it's just,
I
Do
mean,
you agree that the
she's
mayor
been,
shouldn't direct the committees?
she doesn't. Well, she doesn't with me, so I don't know, I don't
I don't,
understand.
anyone else, but
And I'm not trying to make this into an argument, I made a simple statement.
And I'm just making a statement as well, Mr. Brent. I don't. It's under the ordinance.
Okay, would you agree that the three committees should not be directed by the mayor? Whether she done with you or not, just the words I said, should not be directed by the mayor.
Yeah, but she doesn't direct me.
Okay? well,
okay, so let's move on
well,
if we're
yes,
done.
what's the answer to that?
Well, yeah, like I said, I don't get any direction from her. I come in
So,
and do what I have to
Is
do.
it that you'd like me to step away from helping them? You can say that if that's what you want, Vernon.
No, because I know what's coming here a little bit later. And I'm not asking you to step away from the finance and you're turning it all back to the finance. There's other committees. Just, we'll give the report when it comes time to give the report.
I don't care. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, that's pretty much what I have. I wasn't here last meeting, and yeah, I watched it. I was pretty amazed with it, but you know, it sounded like you did make a comment to Angela Tyler, you know, when she talked about the committee, and you said, well, I do trust you. It didn't sound like you trusted me, but I wasn't here. So I'm just saying, the way things are said in the meetings can be construed real easy.
No, I mean,
Okay, but that wasn't what was being said.
Okay, we're gonna have to move on. We still have a lot on here. So what is it that you'd like, Vernon?
I just like the mayor to stay away from the committees that were formed and let them bring the reports to you. Now, I'm not talking about the finance thing because we all know what's coming up.
But that's what we are doing, Mr. Vernon.
Do I
We
get in
do all the
your
documents,
committee?
we do all of our reports, and then.
Do I get in your committee?
No, you don't.
So do I get in your committee? Am I in your way?
No.
But
So,
you see, you did what
but
you
I'm
did.
not sure what it is that you're trying to say, Vernon. And I think that, you know, we need to move on. We have a lot to
You haven't
cover.
been in the committee for 2 months.
And
Why
why?
the maintenance?
And why?
I don't know.
Because I left because she was.
I guess you got tired mowing the lawn and that was it. I didn't see you no more.
Okay, we're gonna have to move on.
The only thing I said about the committees was that the two people in the committee would run the committee and give the report here and the mayor wouldn't interfere. That's all I said.
That's what we're doing.
They're telling you I'm not interfering. You're the only one that seems to think I am. But we
you're the
need
one
to move on,
arguing.
Vernon.
I made a statement. Move on with it then, Howard.
Any other comments?
No.
Okay, we'll move on to building inspector.
Have we gotten any applications for a building inspector?
We haven't
Any
advertised.
Period?
We haven't advertised. We haven't advertised on anything.
Is it true that in the past, certain council members have stepped up, and temporarily filled that position, until we can hire somebody?
We used to do that. I did it at one time.
Is there any way we can appoint somebody temporarily?
I mean, I would just say as a general matter, I have concerns about council people stepping into roles and executing jobs outside of being a council person. There's liability issues, negligence issues, things like that that could potentially arise that breaches what you're doing as a trustee versus being a building inspector per se. So that's the general advice I would give on that.
That brings up a different issue. I keep hearing rumors that Mr. Ken Torres is also a building inspector.
He's not supposed to be.
He's not supposed to
I
be.
was told on his contract said, and
other items.
it's my understanding that past administration had him doing that type of stuff. Had his contract.
So that was all voted by the previous administration then?
Huh?
That was all voted by the previous board?
You know what, I don't know, that contract was already in order when I came on.
I know, but making
So-
him the building inspector.
He told me he was not going to do any more.
Good. Well, how did you end up being the building inspector?
And appointed as the building.
No, but his contract said, so then they had him,
Yeah, but
Check
that should
and
have been voted on by the board, and obviously it wasn't. It was appointed by a previous administrator.
but see, that's
I'd
where
like to make the point that this comes up in the
finding-
executive session.
a lot of issues is, you know, those things have come up.
What'd you say, Vern? You wanna move this to executive
No,
too?
it's already in the executive session.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, yeah.
the building inspector, I motion that we put out in.
And add, I second it. Immediate, part-time.
Bob and Angela. Roll call,
Mayor Pro
What did
Tem,
they say?
put an ad for a part-time building inspector.
Yes.
But so that we don't leave anyone hanging, is it possible for someone to finish with the mercantile as building inspector from the council?
No,
Wouldn't that be a vote to the council?
no, I don't think he just told us about liability. I mean, the council can vote on that if they want to.
I'm not going
No.
to start it on it.
What kind of inspection do they need?
They still have a water inspection to go to be completed so that they can start this, grain store over here. So it's just, that's
That
the
has to be state inspected.
yeah, it's.
The state has to, that flow, valve, that flow valve,
Yeah.
that has to be done by the state.
Oh, yeah, and
There's a guy in Trinidad, the state, right?
Jim Fernandez.
Jim Fernandez, but there's an off Porterelli or Puerto Rici.
Torres,
Yeah, Tony
Torres,
Torres.
Tony. Look at his name, Tony.
So you can do roll call?
Ms. Adams,
Yes.
Mr. Barajas,
Yes.
Ms. Galvin,
Yes.
Mr. Romero,
Yes.
Mr. Thorne.
Yes.
Okay, under new business. We're going to Cantor's contract.
Isn't that under executive session?
Oh. No, oh, yeah, we did, we added resolution, I'm sorry, under new, that would be the first one. I wrote all over because I moved it.
Okay, so it's Cantor's, the ORC, and the resolution. Resolution is in the executive, but the Cantor's contract.
No, the resolution's up above, executive session, we moved executive session to the last place under Sursa contract.
Okay, and the way that I read this was that the executive session included Cantor's contract and the ORC.
No,
No,
we're doing the resolution now, 2024.
Thank you. I guess we're gonna do it after the resolution, after me. Because then this got, the executive session got moved to the end.
Okay, we're asking for resolution number 2024-10-2, a resolution of the Town Board of Aguilar granting signature authority to the no, that's, isn't it?
This wants us to update a resolution to appropriate sums of money to the general fund.
This is what you took. There.
So you gave me this one?
What's this one again?
That's the one where I have to do
No.
now. This one?
Yes.
That is the one I'm supposed to do. Okay. Let me start again. Resolution number 2024-10-2. A resolution of the Town Board of Aguilar granting signature authority to the mayor to sign all legal and financial documents necessary for completion of the USDA augmentation pond project. Whereas appropriate signatory authorization from a town representative is required to accommodate certain legal and financial documents related to this project. And whereas in order to comply with the USDA dual signing requirements, and whereas it is necessary to have the town properly represented in this project, and the mayor has been approved by the town board as the appropriate representative. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby grants said signature authority on all legal and financial documents necessary for the completion of the USDA augmentation pond project to the mayor of Aguilar or Linden Seniors effective immediately, adopted and passed by a majority vote of those elected to the town board this 24th day of October, 2024.
What came up in the discussion on this, at the last time we talked about it, was, I made a request that we have a second signature. Because we went through this before, one signature on checks, one signature on legal documents, and look where we are.
It's already been board approved. It was board approved.
What? You alone?
Yeah.
I didn't vote you alone.
You weren't here. That was one of the meetings you weren't, you didn't attend.
I did, I missed one meeting, not one
No,
of
you missed
the-
two.
I missed one.
Well, you're not gonna be the only one signing. USDA is going to sign. Bring the
I know
check
it.
here.
Look,
We have one, the mayor will sign, USDA will deliver the
Please, I
check
didn't
where it
ask you a
goes.
question and you're not part of the council.
Can I interject something?
Yes, sir.
When the augmentation pond, we were going through the process of trying to get everything all finalized. There was a stipulation from the USDA that we had to have the ordinance identifying the people that were authorized to sign checks. That's already out there. And Mr. Thorne, at the time, was trying to get it where two people had to sign it from the town, not one, two. And the way it turned out, only one person had to sign the doggone checks. It was either Mr. Medino, Mr. Gonzalez, or Tyree. And we were trying to push where we'd have two signatures on there instead of just the one. And this is, I don't think we really need this, we just have to amend that particular ordinance, or resolution, whatever the heck we have.
Well, you've already approved, and it's just the resolution that we have to get signed, to have it passed and get it signed to USDA. It will be me as a signer and USDA.
Can we amend this? Because I don't believe that's what happened. I mean, can we take a listen?
Gerald, You were at that meeting.
I was at the meeting when that came up, and because I'm the one that brought up having two signatures on it. I don't know where you get that I've missed all these meetings.
They didn't say you missed all these meetings, Vern. They said you missed the one when we approved this. You weren't here that day, that night.
I was on Zoom. I watched the meeting and it wasn't done that night. It was done a meeting after that because I was,
Minutes.
We have a record of that.
You have a copy of the minutes.
and that's why I'm asking for us to see the record where it was approved.
I'll just say, I would agree on just this one project because the USDA, the federal government is gonna be overseeing this, but I think on everything else, that there should be 2 signatures, but the 2 signatures on this, it gives me, more confidence that there's more oversight with the USDA, being the other signer on this.
We had agreed on the mayor and Mr. Baldino. And Mr. Baldino stated that he is out working. It's easier to get a hold of Erlinda than it is him. So we agreed to have Erlinda sign as a signer with USDA.
Exactly right.
And a part of this was, it was explained to the council that once we get this resolution done, we get the minutes to USDA, we can set up the account, and with that, we can stop, hopefully, we can now stop the procedures that CFA has against the town of Aguilar and pay them the $750,000. The money is there.
I see what shape the town's in for allowing 1 signature last time. So you guys both thought you won, I would abstain from it.
Okay. Can I get a motion to accept the resolution number 2024-10-2?
I motion to accept it, just as long as we're all clear, it is only on the USDA, and that there's a USDA representative overseeing and being the other signature on it.
Second,
Roll call?
Mayor Pro Tem,
yes.
Ms. Adams?
Yes.
Mr. Barajas?
Yes.
Ms. Galvin?
Yes.
Mr. Romero?
No.
Mr. Thorne?
No.
Pass.
Who seconded?
Mr.
I know.
Okay, now we're gonna go to 11B, Kentor's contract.
I would want to have that put on the agenda. I think that we should reconsider the contract here, that it's too wide open.
So when you say reconsider, Mr. Romero, do you mean,
Have them either redo it, or we could just do the first 2 items, services provided?
Did I just not see some official documents that CFA was asking him to be removed?
I didn't see that one.
It was, posted on, it was like an official email that Aguilar Corruption had posted.
They have him removed?
Yeah, CFA, and it was a
I didn't
while
s-
ago,
I
yeah,
don't
it
know which
was,
one.
yeah, so I mean, it was part of that litigation, or asking, when all the problems started. Way back when.
Well,
I agree with Bob that, his scope is too broad.
I haven't even seen the contract, so I don't know. I haven't even seen the contract, so I don't know.
Is that the independent contractor agreement?
Yes.
We're talking
Yes.
about here.
Here, I mean, I can just show you, it's not super clear, but. Attorney's office, they're asking that Ken Torres be removed until an investigation is completed.
So I will speak on this. That attorney has already filed a lawsuit with CFA, and Mr. Torres is named in that lawsuit as well. So I would advise the board at this point to not comment on that any further. We're gonna be getting legal representation on that lawsuit, and it'll be handled that way.
Okay.
I have those that, what they're talking about is, okay, give them to her to inform her what's going on.
You can give her whatever you like.
You want these?
Bob,
So we just not gonna talk about what? You wanna file a motion to change his contract or have
Yes,
it rewinded
yes, I
or?
do. I think we ought to consider that, and then the travel part of it, there is a black vehicle that's parked in his garage over here that he can use. So he doesn't have to use the black diamond that he was using, saying that he had to go through his company because
the
of
liability.
We've got that black truck just sitting there doing nothing, and Richard over here says it's runnable.
And if you read through this contract though, everything, this 1, 2, 3, 5, all of them have, as like the work status, it explains what it is, the services provided, it explains that, compensation, it explains that. But when it comes to insurance, there's no explanation. So there's no contract with him to supply any insurance, the way I'm reading this.
Well, he's using his company's vehicle.
I know, but his contract, if we're going by that, he's not, there's nothing in there saying that, it just says insurance on here and it's blank.
Right.
So that could mean, health insurance, dental insurance, car insurance. But every other item is explained.
Right, and again, we need to stop cutting checks to Diamond T. The contract is with him personally and not Diamond T.
Yes.
And so, whatever motion you make.
I mean,
Do you want to redo this contract? Is that
yes,
what you want, Mr. Romero?
yes.
So they're like
To
suspended.
modify his contract? So you want to make a motion to,
I make a motion that we modify the contract within a year so that we could discuss the different items and see if he'll agree with it, and if he doesn't.
Can we
we'll just do it
suspend the
whatever.
contract until that's done?
Yes. I would think so.
the contract?
Yeah, I would just, general advice,
Wait on it.
No, the law in Colorado says that unless it says in there that you're not an at-will employee, your employment is at-will, which means you can terminate it at any time. Especially with an independent contractor agreement like this, that doesn't say 30
Yeah, there's
days
no
notice or
terms, there's
anything
no
like that.
terms for notice or anything.
I would say you're
so-
probably okay to terminate it if you like, and enter into renegotiations with him,
Sure.
just as general advice.
That's my motion.
Then you motion to terminate?
Yes.
I second it.
So it's motion to terminate this and
Renegotiate.
renegotiate a new one.
With the board.
Yeah.
With the town council.
Yeah.
Not with just one person. with the
No.
Town council.
I
So
second it.
terminate the current contract.
Yeah, terminate the current contract
And
and
renegotiate the new one.
renegotiate with the board. I second it.
Roll call?
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
Ms. Adams,
Yes.
Mr. Barajas,
Yes.
Ms. Gilman,
No.
Mr. Romero,
Yes.
Mr. Thornton,
Yes.
ORC.
How's it going?
Hello. Mr. Romero?
I believe I put the ORC on there. We
okay.
talked about all of it. We've already talked about all that a few minutes ago. It was, basically that I thought that he should be paid for the work that he's doing over and above his contract. So we've already discussed it.
Well, one of the things that I wanted to find out ask about is, what do you see this job as being? What do you?
Well, you know, some of the things like I've done in Cokedale is I'll go once a week, take a couple samples, once a month, and then if they need something else, I show up there, because I always teach Kathy, I go, no, I'm losing money this month. Because I have to go up there a couple times. I mean, just joking with her.
Yeah.
And I know like the ORCs, a lot of them, that contract, they'll just come like once a month. And like, I think, did Luke used to only come what, once a month, maybe? Yeah, see, and I'll stop by. I've seen them a couple times. I mean, I don't mind stopping by, make sure that everything's good, so. And then like, when you call me if I can help in spot, I want to thank the town for putting him full time, because this guy was soaking wet yesterday and the day before in mud, and if I was him, I would have went home and I'll come back. No, he was frustrated, and we fixed the line, and no, I tell you what, he's one of the best workers I've seen down there. We were doing that. I was getting wet and he was soaking wet. And we got the line going. Cause I told him, I go, oh, this was gonna happen, and I go, it's not gonna be looking good. That was what, Tuesday,
Yep.
yeah. But and then we had to shut the ladies' water off, and we kept, and then it's weird, we shut the water off for the town on the line we thought, and there must be a valve somewhere else that we couldn't find. So, which,
I mean, who do we want him to meet with to help develop this job description? Did we decide that?
Marty?
Or, yeah, the extra duties he's gonna be willing to provide above and beyond anything that requires the water license. I think that's what the question is. What's he gonna do? Who's gonna develop this job description for him?
Sarah, didn't you put out a job description for the OCR? ORC? I thought you had something like that the last meeting.
There was one, yeah.
Mr. Mouse?
I mean, I think, you
Got it
know,
off the state website. I didn't keep a copy, but I can pull it again.
One of the things, is maybe we can have Sarah and him get together, or one of us get together with him and go through it and see which items he could do, he was willing to do, and develop the job description for that.
yeah, and just kind of basically anything above and beyond that, that's kind of a backup to Rich.
Yeah, and if it's, you put it under the special projects, I mean, you could talk with him and work this out and come back to the council.
yeah, cause I've seen it like, when I done one of the other ones, and like I said, Cokedale, the Best Western, I never done nothing, and some of these other guys, they charge more, and just like, you said Luke used to charge you to bring bottles here? Which to me was a joke, but.
Okay, so I filed a motion that, Vern and Bob will go ahead and pull that job description, and then to help develop any other backup duties needed to back up Rich. I'm sorry, I worded that really poorly again.
No, I understand what you're saying, so.
And I second it.
So does that include, weekend rotation?
Gonna include everything that we can think of.
Okay. So then the girls won't have to be doing that anymore?
Right.
Okay.
Or Frank or I.
Right?
We
You guys
only do
volunteer?
the ponds, we don't do the wells. We don't.
Yeah, and like I told Rich, he's gonna have to, cause I remember Joe, I don't know, when did Joe first start here?
Which time?
Uh, when Willie Espinoza was here and, yeah, that's when, Mark Piano had left and there was, the one guy, he was always at the bar across the street with no teeth, Ken. And, I came, yeah, cause I came and helped for a couple of months and Joe showed me around and that's the last time I've ever seen any of the wells, so.
Oh, okay.
That was before Mike Long and Virgil and everybody else, so.
So is he classified as a contract employee or part-time employee?
He's a part-time employee. He's a W-2 employee,
Yeah,
not a 1099.
yeah, because the company I was with, he gets upset if I do that, and then he didn't want nothing to do with this place, so that's why I'm like, I'm gonna figure something out. So,
All right, so we agreed, me and Bob gets in touch with you and
Yeah.
come up here. Okay. We'll work out a time with you.
okay,
So then we have a motion and a second, so I need roll call.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
Ms. Adams,
Yes.
Mr. Barajas,
Yes.
Ms. Galvin,
Yes.
Mr. Romero,
Yes.
Mr. Thorne.
Yes.
all right, thanks.
Thank you, Marty.
Yeah.
For now.
And you got to do a little thing.
Okay, now resolution 2024-101, an updated resolution to appropriate sums of money to the general fund in the amount and for the purpose as set forth below for the town of Aguilar, Colorado for the 2024 budget year. Whereas the annual property taxes from 10/1/2020 to 10/21/21 were placed on hold with Santa Ynez County until 2019 audit was completed and filed with the state auditor's office. And whereas it is not only required by law, but also necessary to appropriate the revenues provided in the budget to and for the purpose described below, hereby establishing a limitation on expenditures for the operation of the town.
Okay, so I got a big question about this. Don't we have to reimburse that $155,000 that was moved out of the USDA fund and misappropriated? Don't we have to pay that back?
We have to wait till they're done investigating, I assume. I don't know.
I mean, so shouldn't we be setting some of this money aside for that? I mean, take some of it, but I mean, at some point, I would think we would have to pay that back, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Well, eventually,
I mean,
once they're done with their investigations and audits and
all that, maybe they'll set up a payment plan or something to repay that or whatever. Because I mean, that's what kind of started that whole mess of not being able to pay.
they didn't mention, all they said to us was it was going to be investigated where the funds went to.
I mean, we certainly need this money, I mean, that's for sure. I'm just, concerned about if we're gonna, at some point, be asked to repay that. I'm just wondering if we should please start setting aside, a little money in reserve. Maybe we can go over that in executive session too.
Okay. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of the Town of Aguilar, Colorado. Section 1, that the following sums are hereby appropriated from the revenue of each fund for the purposes stated. The general fund current operating expenses in the amount of $38,874.32. Capital outlay debt services 0, in total general fund $38,874.32. This money has already been approved. So what it previously, the only thing is that she asked that we, Adola, go ahead and present this to the board so that they know where the monies went to. And that's where we use the check.
Right, so is this money in our account right now?
It'll be deposited tomorrow once you approve.
Okay, so they're holding the check until, and then we're gonna use, pay off the bills that we
The
have.
bills that are listed. And so what we did, we have what? How many bills did we have left?
Pretty much nothing.
Except for like what
Big one.
has to do with the augmentation bond and those big ones. But I think with the city of Walsenburg, San Isabel, at the sheriff's department, we pretty much, everybody we could pay off, we paid off, and
That's good. That's good news.
A lot.
So other than the 155,000, we're even again? We don't owe anyone?
we're almost there. And you know what we have, like, when we speak of, like SGM and Jerry McDaniels and them, some of that money is gonna come back to the town, because that's going to come out of, the USDA loan.
Yeah, and we paid we paid a lot of the attorneys and SGM out of our general fund, because I went through that with the last board. And I couldn't understand why we were paying out of general.
I
fund.
asked the
So
same question too, because
I do know that money's gonna be refunded, but I don't believe it totals 155,000, and it's a good thing it's coming back.
Yeah, I mean, I think that put the town in a really precarious situation, paying those bills out of the general fund when it should have only been paid out of the grant or the loan.
And that's goes back to why USDA now has gone to the way they have it set up, where they are a signer and then one person from the town. So then they get to monitor the usage of that money and who gets paid.
Okay, I'm good with this. So do we need to file a motion to get this approved then?
Yes.
Okay, so I make a motion to approve, to move, those taxes into the general fund in the total of $38,874.32.
I second it. Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
Ms. Adams,
Yes.
Mr. Barajas,
Yes.
Ms. Galvin,
Yes.
Mr. Romero,
Yes.
Mr. Thorne,
Yes.
And that's where, on the next item, approval of bills, that's what those bills were paid from. We didn't touch the money, but 90 cents from the regular fund that's in there, and the balance in is,
20,214.56 after all the outstanding checks that we've paid previously goes through.
Okay, so hang on, I'm confused here. Okay, so the $20,204.56 is before this $38,000 check?
that's what,
We didn't use it.
that's what's in the general fund.
Oh,
And
right now.
So we didn't touch any of that money.
Okay. So what you're saying is you were able to pay most everything off without touching that money
Well,
yet?
except for 90 cents.
Except for 90 cents. So once we approve these, then we got another $38,000 sitting in the fund.
you will have 20,000.
Okay, so you did include that in these totals. That's what I asked. If this 38,000 was included in these numbers.
It's not included. We took the $38,000 check, paid all these bills on the 2 sheets. We didn't touch anything in the general fund, so right now in the general fund, there's $34,770, but we still have several checks outstanding from the last 3 times we paid bills. Those outstanding checks are 14,556. So once everything clears the bank, including these, because this is that tax check, that $38,000.
Okay, so when that's all said and done, then we'll still have 20,214.56.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I needed to know. Okay, so I just got one comment on this. I mean, I've been through this process. I know what you guys are doing. I know you're asking the questions. I know you're taking notes. It just comes down to Tyra's vacation. So I know I think she was claiming she had like over.
She was asking for like $2,200.
Right, and so it's been reduced to 1,077. So I think that's closer in alignment to what you had.
This is 701.
They ran it through this, it's not, they haven't paid her, but
So is it 1,700?
taxes were taken out, the normal.
And that's how come that I started to kind of go over this at the beginning to do it later, because I have things that show that from the town and from the meetings that we do not owe her this. She has been overpaid. And that's why I asked for this to be taken off, because I don't have the documents here. I didn't know it was going to come up. I didn't get this till we sat down. Was that legal advice on this?
I mean, I don't want to comment on legal advice that's been given, so I don't breach attorney-client privilege, but that number has been analyzed through Sursa Counsel, who's representing the town in the employment matter, and that number is what they came up with.
Peter Doherty.
Correct.
I mean, it is less than what she claimed.
Okay, well, okay, then is it 17 or 7?
It's 1,077.76.
Okay, I have
And
701.69.
after taxes, it's 701.60. So after taxes, it's 701.69. That's the only question I had.
We don't have an IGA with the San Luis County Sheriff. We do.
It's just for emergency calls and.
We had 2, wasn't there 2 for the sheriff? No, that was it.
Is that a $3,000 check?
That's back from, March, maybe, wasn't it?
Yeah, when we first looked at them, the bill was over $7,000, so we've been whittling away at that.
And I think they might have been on that list of return checks. So we didn't have the money, and so we had only been paying them like $500.
And Navaret had agreed to work with us on payment plans, so. Now that we got, we got some money coming in, they did need a significant payment.
And that 3,000 is paying them in full, so we no longer owe them, we're current.
Okay.
You know that they were south of my house last night. The club cars, ambulance, and I don't know who else.
There was an ambulance here parked in front of Ringo's last night, about 9 o'clock as well. Don't know if maybe they got lost.
Anyway, to get back to this, Matt Lucero, $300, whatever happened to $75 a month.
We went ahead and paid him for the rest of the year. So we already owed him, correct?
Yes,
We owed him 150.
for September and October.
And then you just paid November and December too.
Yeah.
Knock it out.
Black Hills Energy and what is it for?
How much is it?
1,201.
That, the flyers?
The flyers, right?
No, that was the leak survey they did, not too long ago.
Oh, the other one.
No, that's a different one.
That was, yeah, the leak
The
survey.
leak survey they did in, I believe, August.
So, yeah.
What sort of leak?
I believe they come once a year.
Yeah,
I think.
it's once
Do
a
they
year,
check the
and they do
meters?
the, business district or whatever and check for,
Gas meters?
yeah.
But that's separate from the other gas company that we're about ready to talk about?
No, they're the same company,
It's same company, but it's separate.
but it's the other well, it's the same company, but they did the survey and then now this one did the cathodic protection.
Okay,
They did
inspected
that
all
on
the
10
lines.
10.
Stuff like that. Okay. Gotcha.
Okay. So yeah, we still owe that money.
The other thing is, aren't we gonna go QuickBooks desktop? You don't see anything in here?
And
The last meeting, he said something about tabling it or holding on to it.
yeah,
It's
I
not
mean,
right now.
until we can get the ending balances from the 2022 audit. It's just, it's, and Jim Ray had even stated he doesn't even know how clean of set of books we can get, but we need those closing balances once he's done with the 2022, so we can start with opening balances for 2023.
I don't see anything in here. We do put in gas in the vehicles, right? Where is that charged to? I don't see
So
that.
it's the second one, the Aguilar Mercantile for $91. And I believe that looks like all he's put so far since the last meeting when we
Yes.
approved bills on the 16th, I guess.
And then we paid off what? Ace Hardware too. Because I know Angela said they were willing to work with us, but it was one of the bills and it's been long running.
Aren't we at a point where we need to start looking for someone that has an accounting background to work for the town? Because the way things are going, we're gonna need one.
Financially,
Yes,
not at the moment.
well, who's gonna do all the accounting work for us?
The lady from the office has been doing it.
But even with the new software that we're supposed to be getting,
We haven't even tried it on the software as yet.
well,
Well, it's on hold.
we had decided on QuickBooks desktop.
That's what was suggested to me by the last CPA. I know from another client I have, the CPA, she has experience in fund accounting and she suggested desktop over online version.
Okay, so we're going to have to decide like soon what we're gonna do because the contract with Assist is up.
We're gonna decide if we wanna go with that QuickBooks desktop.
When
or
is
not.
that contract up?
October 31st. So the new one starts November 1st through October 31st of 25.
Yeah, it's hard to know. I mean, I You know, I don't know when Jim Ray is gonna be done with 2022. So it's hard for me to make that determination.
We're gonna table the item or what?
It sounds like
What's that contract like with the other company? I mean, is there any penalties for terminating the contract mid-year or?
I don't know. I've never dealt with the contracts. I just pay the invoices, so that's something I would have to call and figure out if we pay it in full. And then if we decide to terminate, do we get a refund or
Yeah, or, I mean, can you just pay quarterly or something? Can you like pay till?
like maybe try to do a
Monthly.
quarterly something? Okay.
Right. Yeah,
I'll call on them tomorrow and see what our options are. That being said, the check for Tritech software systems, 5376.69, it's about a little more than halfway down. I'll go ahead if you guys approve these and not send that out until we get an answer on what we're doing with
Okay.
this.
that's the assist contract.
Yeah, that's Tritech software for 5376.69.
Got it.
So I won't send that until I get approval to send that one.
Understood. So would there may be a contract, with termination?
I'm not sure. I'm gonna call tomorrow and see what if we can make quarterly payments instead of the whole yearly payment.
Well, I think one of the issues is that they have to keep the software they have now.
Even going forward, till we
Because-
switch over.
They can't just totally shut it down.
Well, no, I mean, obviously that comes in line with, you know, finding the other utility software, you know? I mean, I know that there's a lot of complaints that utility billing too needs to be able to be separated, you know, separate water bill, separate gas bill. So I mean, that's a whole thing that still needs to be researched. And again, it comes down to money, what kind of money the town has that can upgrade the whole system.
So when you were looking at the book, QuickBooks, did you look into whatever upgrades that could be
Yeah, I
done
looked into one that,
for assist?
yeah, well, no, not that. I mean, I looked into one thing that Sarah had found, but they were so not prepared. They basically said that they had to go back to the drawing board and their software engineers, they just weren't ready and they weren't gonna be doing anything for another year. So, I would suggest again, you know, talking to some other towns and seeing what they're doing, you know? You know, just talk to some other surrounding small towns and see how they're handling their finances versus the utility billing.
Okay, so do we, just remove that?
there's other things, I would just verify what they are, and again, it's just, nickel and diamond us to death. So I think that, probably get rid of some of those other ones.
And then we also have the Delta dental, that one employee is still on. I've not been directed to cancel that. I don't know if I should or who is handling canceling that, but that's, I believe, $114.55 a month, at the beginning of every month.
And Aflac is also coming out.
Yeah.
And on that one, when I spoke to the lady, so from what I understand, so there's 2 people on there.
So basically, I think we have to send that letter to Aflac to give Erlinda authorization to cancel it. They won't let anybody cancel it because Tyra was, I guess, the administrator on it.
Well, I think that all needs to be revisited as well, as soon as the funds, I don't know, maybe we should talk about this in executive session. There's some things I need to point out.
Have all the passwords to everything been changed, and has the equipment that they use to work remotely been returned?
Yes. She's been disconnected remotely. She doesn't have access to anything here. Well, password changing, I've not changed any. So a lot of times though, we've tried to get on to her stuff and the password wasn't good. So we're trying to reset everything to new passwords. I don't know if everything's been changed. And I was directed yesterday to make sure and get her and any old utility workers off of all the accounts and invoices, because a lot of the invoices still have her. They have our utility workers from 2022. So I'll start working on that Monday to try to get all of that cleared up.
The security system could be accessed remotely, correct?
Not if you're not able to get into the town computer. So without her being able to access the town computer, her computer in her office, then nobody can get connected to that remotely.
So there's no software that would let her into it?
No. Hayden, the tech guy, he's the one that set it up on everybody's laptop so we could remotely connect, but we could only connect to our own computer from a laptop or from home. I couldn't remote to Sarah's or to Tyra's. I could only remote to myself. But Monica, I think, and Angela, the first time they came in and did bills, I believe, directed us to get her the remote connection, take it off. And I think Erlinda just saw that on a bill the other day, Monica and Erlinda. We had just paid an invoice for the computer kernel. And I think that was on there, the disconnecting the remote access.
And she returned the laptop she had?
That was her personal laptop.
That's the other part where
we have 3 town laptops. Mr. Romero has one, I believe, Mr. Barajas, and
The
then
question I wanted to bring up was on the passwords, and she has just said this, that the guy who works on the computers has access remotely to our security cameras. So then why would he do that?
Hayden doesn't have access.
He's the one who
That's what
set
she
up
just
our
said.
cameras in the office. Hayden's the one who set up the cameras in the office.
But he doesn't have access to them, right? Is what he's asking.
And she just said that he did.
what I said is that he set up our laptops to where we could connect to our computers. So on each of our computers, we can see all the security cameras. So if we were to remote connect in from my house, I could see anything I want. What I said is that Tyra cannot see anything because she has no access to her town computer anymore.
Well, and I was off the Tyra thing. I was listening to what you said.
Hayden,
And I assume Hayden would have access. He has access to everything because
He's the
he's
IT
our
guy, he
tech
does
guy.
all of
Now, yes to no to yes again.
And we misunderstood your questions.
Okay, now here's why I'm asking this is because we're fixing to have an executive session. So they have access to these cameras.
There's no voice. There's no voice on these cameras.
And why would our tech guy be trying to listen into our executive
It
session?
doesn't matter.
We pay
See, I
him.
didn't ask you a question on that. I was talking to the council.
Are we gonna accept these bills?
There's one more bill that I want to ask about. I thought we had dropped what?
We did. This is the final, they're
Is
gonna
it
pick,
final one?
they're gonna pick up the machine and that's it. But they charge us a late fee or charge the town a late fee.
What's Godwin's and Rubens?
That's our copier and our stamp machine.
Motion to pay the bills.
Can I get a motion to approve the bills?
Less the assist payment for 5376.69.
Yes.
I second it.
Oh, wait, so she's gonna find out information, and what if they don't do quarterly, or what's gonna happen?
I don't know.
They won't have to keep it, otherwise we won't have any kind of.
That's what I, so that way she knows if they tell her that they cannot do,
A quarterly.
and if they,
So if they can't, do I send it out? Because if, I don't know when we're having another meeting, but ours expires October 31st. I don't know if come up November 1st, if we don't pay it, they're gonna shut it. I don't know that. I don't know if we could do a phone vote tomorrow. Once I figure out the info, I don't know what we want to do.
Well, if they say no, I would say pay it. because
Yeah,
we can't be without
we
it.
can't be without a system at all.
Right.
I mean, there's really no other choice.
And I will
Okay.
make sure and get something from them in black and white stating whatever they tell me to give you after I talk with them. Just for future reference later.
All right, so
And Bob first, Monica second.
No, Angela second.
roll call?
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes.
Ms. Adams,
yes,
Mr. Barajas,
Yes.
Ms. Gelman,
Yes.
Mr. Romero,
Yes.
Mr. Thorne.
No.
Workshops.
That's one that I put in. I was under the impression that the workshops were gonna be strictly for things that the council was gonna work on. But it's also a good idea that the audience be involved in it,
In the workshop?
in the workshop, like they were the first time we had a workshop. But what I would like to recommend is that we specify exactly what we're gonna be talking about in the workshop. We were supposed to be talking about employee handbook. And we ended up talking about cats and dogs.
is my understanding the workshops were for the public.
Well.
So what if you do workshops and the board works on, say, the handbook or whatever else needs to be adjusted with the the council needs to change or ordinances, whatever that we're gonna work on, but you can have town hall meetings, which is just with the public, correct? A town hall meeting is where,
Sure. I mean, how many trustees are involved?
all of them.
We're all in there.
Yeah, there's no problem.
So then it's
As long as it's noticed properly that there's this happening, and everyone's got an equal right to participate and show up. That's fine.
then that becomes a town hall, and then when you wanna work like on the handbooks and that, and then that would just be a workshop.
Because I'm sure that they would be interested in being involved in the employee handbook. It's strictly town council. That's the only thing that so I'm thinking that we need to specify what we're gonna talk about before we have the meeting. You know what I mean?
So, okay,
I don't think we need to have a motion for that. I just-
ordinance 287.
That was another one of mine. That isn't the ordinance that I was referring to. The one that I was referring to is when Vern was trying to include the mayor and the mayor pro tem sign financial documents that have to do with the augmentation fund.
That is.
This isn't it.
Yeah, this is the coding, this is when, yes,
Was I just, I didn't, okay, was the right one.
yeah, this was the coding for the whole augmentation, everything that, yes.
Okay, well, it has to be amended in one way because it has town administrator in there. We don't have it.
So is that something that, where you wanted the, town administrator deleted? Is that the one?
Yes, under approvals, authorization, amendments. But it doesn't include the mayor pro tem.
Everybody's asking. Will you tell them so that we're all on the same page?
Sure. If you're going to amend an ordinance, then you can't just amend it by a motion here tonight. You have to put together the amended ordinance, then post it for public comment, and have a vote on it after that. And then there'll be a certain waiting period before it will become actual laws and ordinance again. So we can begin that process, but can't do it tonight.
One of the things that they have been doing in the past is declaring it an emergency.
Yeah, every ordinance we passed for the last 5 or 6 years has been under an
And we've got
emergency
so many of
clause.
them on the books that it's crazy.
I wouldn't advise doing that.
Why?
Every one of
Trying to
them
get rid
is
of
that way.
I'm not familiar with those ordinances, but I would advise that's the best way to go about it.
Right.
Would you want to do that? Where,
Yeah, whatever he suggested.
okay. Okay.
That's something that I'm being directed to do, or you guys are gonna do that and you just want to review it, or
We're asking you to do it.
you want me to do it?
On page 6, section 12.
We're gonna remove the town administrator.
Right.
Now what if we replace it with the mayor pro tem?
Okay.
Page 6, number 12.
Of the 287,
Section 12.
section 12.